Hey there everyone, welcome back to Gamevine. My name is Dave, and today we're going to be replacing this gray Joy-Con shell with this fantastic see-through transparent turquoise aqua shell. Pretty bad in this left Joy-Con. It just started going out about 3 months ago, which is why I replaced it with the watermelon colors up there. But I kind of like the gray ones. Not the favorite of the colors, but still a standard kind of solid color. But you know, it could be jazzed up, which is why we're going to be putting a shell on it, because we have to replace the stick, and it's not much work, more work to replace the shell. Just a few more parts and pieces you need to remove. Now, I've never done this before, but I've watched video after video after video, so I'm going to be showing you what tools it takes to actually do this process, and I'm going to be doing a time lapse and giving you a few pointers of what you will be expecting when you take apart a Joy-Con. So don't watch this video as a run through or some kind of instructional video for taking apart Joy-Con and putting a shell on it. I'm just going to give you a review of what it's like to do it and give you a few tips along the way. I'll put some links down in the description below to some good videos that can instruct you to do the same with the shell exchange. So without further ado, let's get to the table and switch it up. Let's go. Okay, so what you will need to swap a Joy-Con shell is a Phillips head screwdriver, a very tiny one, and a customized tri-wing screwdriver that you can only get from like Amazon or eBay online. You need this screwdriver. This is especially important because it is a patented Nintendo design. So, and then you will need a pair of tweezers. I have two pair. You can do just one. This one here has plastic on the tips. It's important to work with plastic when you're going to work with motherboards and metal. And this one here, it's got a good angle. I'm going to use that sometimes too, but that is metal. And then you'll need some kind of prying tool, a plastic one. So you can open up the shell, take apart the battery from the double stick tape. And then, as you can see up here, I'm going to be trading out my stick and hopefully fix it. I bought one off of Amazon. There's a link down below that if you need to do that yourself. And I have this little container right here that I'm going to be keeping track of my screws with. It's important to keep track of those and what pattern they came in. So my first one's going to be in the first bin, my first set, and so on and so forth. I'm really bad at keeping track with stuff, so if you are, I recommend this method. And this Joy-Con has a D-pad, so we're going to be switching that out too, so I'm super excited. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to fast forward through a lot of it. There are a few things that I'm going to stop on to kind of give you a super hint, and then we'll go to the rest of the video. Now I'm going to be removing the battery. The one thing I do recommend is to let your Joy-Con controller die. Worst case scenario, if you're going to be dealing with a battery and it has juice in it, it's going to explode. Best case scenario, you're going to just get by with not even a scratch, but I wouldn't risk it. Let your Joy-Con die and then do the operation. Alright, so one thing I wanted to point out is I was having trouble with the tiny screws, and my significant other actually gave me a great tip. My Phillips head's not magnetized, so I'm using tweezers to hold the screw and then tweezing it in, because these holes on this shell are really not threaded yet. Kind of got to make it that way, so tiny tip. Okay, so now we're moving on to the trigger. This is a tip that I gotta let you know. There are springs in here that are gonna go crazy. You're gonna have to press the back of it down and out, and the springs might pop off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my hands in this bag here, and I'm gonna pry it off just in case the springs start to go crazy. And the idea is that if the springs do go crazy, they will actually pop off in this bag. So, whew. Now that was the hardest part. Now I don't know if the springs went crazy, but if they did, they should have got caught in the bag. They did. Alright guys, so I had to do this part off camera because this is expert mode. We've been through easy, we've been through normal, we've been through hard mode when swapping shells for the Joy-Con. I can't really decipher which part is which, but I know we've done all of them. I know this part is expert mode. Now, what I did is I had to put the button on first, and then I took some tweezers and I put the springs in slowly and guided them on the little knobs there. Some people say you want to put the springs on, then line up the button. I could not do that. I tried and I tried and I tried. So that's another method. If you want to put the button on first, then kind of squeeze the springs in, that's one way to do it. All right, let's continue. Alright, so this is where the patented Nintendo screwdriver is going to come into play. You're going to screw in all 4 of these screws once you have it all together, and then test it and see if it works. That's the scary part. So let's screw these in and get to the testing. Alright, so the moment of truth, it is dead, so hopefully it just clicks right into the switch here, and it can read it. Oh, it does look like the stick is working. Let's test all the buttons out. So let me see. Yeah, you guys are seeing it this way, so let me go there. So yeah, it looks like it's still reading. It's gray, of course. Okay, so we're going to test the buttons. Here we go. So this left stick seems to be good. Up, left, right, down. Got a capture. We got a minus button. ZL is a little weird feeling, but not too bad. Nice, so everything seems to be in order. Alright, so here we have the completed product. Look at that beauty. And also fits in the Joy-Con grip for my grip here. It also fits in the tennis grip, and it's sized appropriately. And as you can see, it has a D-pad, and that D-pad feels really nice. Not the best D-pad, but pretty darn nice. So who do I recommend this for? Changing out a shell isn't for your average person. If you're just excited about changing your color of your Joy-Con, do not do this. If you don't have any DIY experience and you aren't able to really commit to follow through on something that gets really complicated and tedious, do not do that. I don't recommend you pick up a shell and do it. The price of this wasn't too hefty. I got this on Amazon. I'm going to leave a link down below just for the shell, but you can do it for the whole thing if you wanted to. So I would recommend this for people who have a little bit, just at least a little bit of DIY experience that can control a screwdriver and tweezers really well, and have the know and the knowledge to actually commit to doing this. I would say watch a lot of videos, read a lot of content, make sure you know what you're getting into. Knowing and doing, from my experience, is at least on this Joy-Con shell exchange, are completely different things. And somebody with my skill, in which I'm just there, just above the line, I was able to do that. So if you have the confidence and a little bit of know-how, go ahead and do that. And anybody above that, of course, you'll have no problem doing the shell exchange, and the product is fantastic. Now, I did have a Dave kind of portion of this. I call it a Dave because something isn't really matching up. There's a little bit of gap right here. I can feel it, and when I hold it, You can feel like a seam. You shouldn't feel that, but it still fits and everything. Everything is operates well, and the response of all the buttons are there. And look at that beauty. I'm so impressed how it turned out, and I might do another Joy-Con here and there in the future. It was frustrating, but in the end, it paid off. So please click like and subscribe right now in the video down below if you could. I really would appreciate that. Down below also there are some links to videos that actually are tutorials to do this if you want to get into it, and some links to buy the shells and actual Nintendo Switch. If you click on those, it supports the channel even more, so thank you for that. And join me next time on the next DIY video where I replace the back of the Switch. It's much simpler. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day and a great time with all you play. I'm Dave here at GameVine, and I'm out. Bye.